Good evening and welcome to our viewers. It's another episode, actually episode 21 of the Unstoppable Overcomers. That's exciting. I'm excited. Nancy's excited.
Yeah.
I am super excited to have Nancy on the show because Nancy has been in one of the courses that I was taking, and she's just super amazing woman. And if you don't know Nancy, you need to get over on Facebook and get a hold of Nancy. She's an amazing woman. She's an empowerment coach, bringing you personal development techniques to lighten up, turning your no joy to MoJo so that you can make the positive impact in your relationships, businesses, and the world. She and her husband are transitioning from living to New Hampshire to designing their life in Florida. Joyful nomads for now. So welcome to the show, Nancy. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yay, Dorothy, thank you so much. It's a thrill to be here with you, actually. And it always feels weird to have somebody else read who you are, but that was it. That's me. You are amazing, and I agreed to be here with you because we are so aligned in, I guess, in outlook, I guess, is really what it is. And, how we deal with life and all the things that happen, because it's just, that's how life is. If you're alive and you're living, things are happening. It's just, it's going to be, and how you deal with it is everything. So, Dorothy, you're amazing. So I'm so honored to be here with you, having this chat with all of you.
Yes, I'm more excited for all of you to be here this evening. And, I had somebody tell me, she goes, it was brilliant that you had your show Monday night at 7 o'clock because, after getting through the weekend, you get the Monday blues. And what better way to jumpstart the Monday than to have positive people, share the crazy life that we live in, but also giving tips. And that's just so, if you haven't, if you don't know Nancy and you don't know, she has a morning show that is absolutely lighthearted and fun. And I'm on there, I would say 80% of the time. I'm at work at that time. So it depends on who's around me that I put my earbuds in. And if the new girl's there and she has a question, I got to answer her questions.
You got to do the things, right?
Right, but it's called the Mornings with the Moose, right?
You got it. That's exactly it.
Mornings with the Moose. So if you have not heard of that show, you need to go over there. It's at 7:35ish each morning.
I'm in transition.
And we have to say that we joke with Nancy because she is a nomad right now and she's transitioning between places. It's kind of hard for her to be exactly on time, but it's just a little joke. We love Nancy.
Thank you.
And it's fun. So definitely stop in on Mornings with the Moose. Yeah. Grab your cup of coffee. You'll get the
the holidays of the day.
Holidays of the day. That's right.
You'll get a seize the day message or maybe a mantra.
Right.
And the thing about it, 7:30 a.m. Eastern is what it was supposed to be at. And then it just kind of shifted when I got on the road, and I was like, all right, maybe we need to commit to 7:40-ish because by the time I try to find a good place to do internet access here, I've missed the time. So I love the fact that you said that you are there sometimes, oftentimes, but because the way I structured it, right, was so that it was a drop-in, stop by, drop in, drop through, brushing your teeth, drool, it doesn't matter. And I wanted even that to be light, not to feel like, oh, I have to be there exactly this time or I miss it, or it was more of it's just a passing through coffee shop kind of a thing. You eavesdrop on what's going on and maybe have a little input. So I'm always glad to see you there, Dorothy.
It's fun, and all the women and men that join, and Tim's one of the guys that joins us. Shout out to you, Tim.
Shout out to the drop in, drop out. Like drool.
Drool. I'm not sure what you're drooling about, Tim, but anything's possible in Pennsylvania.
With the bears and the turkeys.
Oh yes, the birds and the turkeys and the bears. Oh my. So Nancy, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of your background, some of the things that you've overcome to get to this point. We'll start there.
Start there. How long do we have? What do we have? We have 3 hours. What do we have?
We have an hour total.
All right, then. I probably shouldn't cover everything. Um, let's just say we've all had things happen in life, right? Let's just say if we've been alive, like I said, right? If we've been living, then things are happening all the time. Right? People are coming into our life. People are leaving our lives by design, by not design, by natural causes, by not natural causes. And the same thing with jobs and all of the things, right? So we are often disrupted from what it is we thought we wanted and thought we pictured in our minds how it was going to be. And I'm no different than you. I'm no different than you. I've had my ups and downs. I've had my challenges, and to just the things that I have overcome. This is something I want. If you're listening to this, I want you to hear this. This is important because I am no different than you, and you are no different than me. Ultimately, we have been through amazing things together, separately, without knowing each other. And the trick is to know when you have. And how do you do that is the question. When I was 37 years old, I lost my husband, and I had 2 children. I had a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old, and it was unexpected. And knowing that, we got through it, right? We got through onto the other side, and the whole goal was to keep everybody whole, right? One of the things that I realized later was that I still had joy, right? I was still able to find laughter. I was still able to find something to be light about. And it wasn't that I ignored the fact. Were we devastated by it? Yeah, really. Was it the hardest thing I've ever had to go through? Most undoubtedly it was. But the whole point that I needed to do was I needed to show my children that the world didn't fall apart, that they could still live within the world, even in the change that it was, right? So that was what my main goal was. And so in doing that, I didn't even realize that I was building a reputation. I didn't realize that I was building a habit. I didn't realize those things that I was doing were actually great tools to be shared with other people. And so we all have that. We all have these toolkits inside of us that we just don't even take the time to appreciate. And I am one of you. I did not even appreciate what I had gone through and what I was able to rise up through. So fast forward, life continues to go on. There are other things that come up, right? Maybe you're dealing with an aging parent as well. People that you love, they get old. They have their issues, and then you're there. It's draining. There's all of those things that you have to keep it all together for somebody. And once again, I was in that space, right, Dorothy? You get it.
Yep.
And it's loving people where they're at when they're not really who they were before. And so you're going through your process while trying to be there for them. And so I did it. I thought, where have I done this before? And then it comes to me, oh, this is exactly, but different, the same thing I went through being an early widow. I had to go through it for myself, but also for somebody else to help them move through it. So those things go on, and we move forward. And recently, even more recently, lost our daughter. She was 27, and in the middle of this whole C-19 stuff. So can't go through the process like you normally go through. We couldn't have a family together. Couldn't, because it was prevalent. It was huge. It was like no one's going anywhere at that point. Love you too, Tim. And so having to deal with that and not be able to process it like all the other things, once again, it's what I imagined we should be able to do. And what really happens isn't always the same. But does my world have to fall apart? it doesn't have to fall apart. What I have to do is remember, how do I tap into that joy? And there's a few techniques that I realized that I had done over the years, whether it was widowhood or caring for my mom through dementia, or even this situation. I realized that I had the same tools that I used over and over again. That's where the magic was.
And Jenny says that you're a very strong woman. I totally concur with that. There's just a couple of things I that you said there that like struck me. I've been making notes as you're talking. That's why I'm looking down, because I'm making notes.
I forgive you for looking down then.
And when you said, you didn't even realize that what you went through, and what you didn't appreciate what actually you went through until you were on the other side. I think if we would stop in the middle, pardon my French, shitstorm, we would probably get into our heads and not get past the other side. And that is so true what you said. We're all going through something, and that's why I started this show, because my background was being bullied. I had low self-esteem. I was in abusive relationships. My family, my parents have always been sick. And here we are again, needing another miracle. And I am believing for it. I'm praying for it. And, and then my uncle took his life 23 years ago. So if I would have, to me, I just kept on going. And I didn't even realize until this past year, how much shit I've been through, but I'm no different than you are. And sorry, I'm trying not to cry, guys. I did put a plea out for prayers for my family, because we're in the middle of another shitstorm. And, so it is my dad, and, but we're getting through it. We're stronger as a family. And that's what I say. Each time something comes up, I think the family unit gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And, I'm like, really finding yourself widowed at 37. That has got to be hard, especially having two children, age 15 and 9, not having a husband now.
Who plans for that?
Yeah. Like, how do you plan for something like that? It's not like
you're never thinking about that. You're in your mid-30s. You're like, that is not one of the things you're thinking about. Well, I hope not. I mean, if you are, if you're struggling with something, and this is something you think of on a daily basis, I don't mean to minimize it. What I'm saying is, in a general sense, as you're growing up, never are you thinking that when I'm in my mid-30s, I am going to be preparing for widowhood, because that's how it's going to go. And so, the things come up, and you say, well, it was something I had not imagined, so I couldn't have played it out in my head. I couldn't have, how all the this is like, there's like layers of this. There are layers and layers of this, and it's never easy. So you can get in your head about anything, right? If you're going to embark on something new, and it can be a shitstorm, right? It can be, no matter what you're doing, if that's how you're going to look at it, right? Well, instead, what you look at is like, I have a puzzle to figure out, and I have to get this done. And so if we plan for those things, we will hold off until we're ready, whatever that is. Because like, start a new career. Oh, I'll do that when I'm ready. When I get all of these things in place, then I will. Well, if you can think of a time that you didn't have time to prepare, and how you did it, how you got through it, right? That's where the magic lies, because you would, if you stopped in the middle of all of that, the stuff that's happening, in the middle of something you did not ask for, that you do have to deal with, you would stop and get all in your head and think, oh my gosh, I'm frozen. I don't even know what to do. And that's the place you get in when any big transition in your life is coming, if you allow it to. You'll stop and say, I can't do anything because I don't know what to do next. I don't know where to turn. But you do. And that part of it is it's going internal and knowing that you have that ability in you. Part of it is what you said. So you said the family grows stronger, right? With every time that your family members in need, your family grows stronger. Some people don't have a family unit that grows stronger. Maybe it pulls you further apart. ultimately, what you do need though is family, and what you call family, let it be so, right? So
Yeah.
you need that kind of family, whether it's community, friendships, and then there's that other part of it that you have to actually trust, and be vulnerable enough to open up to whoever it is that your family is,
Yeah.
to let them know that I'm struggling with this. I need some help with this. I have no idea what I'm doing with this, but we're going to keep on going. And they rally around you to say, it's okay, we got you, right? Or we'll all figure this out together.
Yeah. That is so true. Like you know, that is so true. Keep walking till you get to the other side, guys. Don't stop in the middle of it. I swear, don't stop in the middle of it. Keep going. I
If
don't care
you
if you're gonna call your friend at 2 o'clock in the morning to get
do
past
it,
that next struggle. You do it.
do it, do it, do it, because your friend is waiting, saying, I don't know what I can do for you. I have no idea. And if you call them at 2 a.m., they'll be like, I'm so glad you called me. I don't know what to do for you. And you're like, that's okay. I didn't really need you to do anything. I just needed some place to let it out, you know? But you're right. Don't stop in the middle. Here, I want it. I'm a very, very visual thinker. And I just imagine if you were riding a bicycle and, things are going along great because it's life, right? Things are going along great. Hands are off the handlebars. You're all cool. You're all showing off, and land is flat, and then you kind of go downhill and up. But you say, there comes a big hill. I'm going to start pedaling so I can get up the hill. You don't go halfway up that hill, stop, and then try to get on the bike again,
Right.
because it is so hard. What you have to do is keep on moving, and what you need alongside you is somebody yelling, pedal, 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 or someone giving a
Yeah.
little boost and from behind to give you that little extra oomph to push you. I give you a little bit more momentum to keep on going. It's not that you want them to do the job for you. It's not that I want you to live my life for me. It's just I just need a little bit of a boost. And being
Exactly.
able to tap into that, you have to be able to find who that family is, who that teammate is, who that community is. Because there are times when it gets hard to do it alone. And stopping to stand in the middle of the mess is not the way to do it.
Right. Exactly. I'm just going to go to the comments for a minute. Tim has said, now more than ever, we're all going through you know what. Exactly. Thanks, Jenny.
Yes, for sure. We all are here.
And thanks for your prayers, Tim.
Yay.
And Jenny, sister, become a widow too at 30. Um,
Yes, it.
and I don't know. I think there was a couple things, I guess, growing up that, and she says, always push through. I got married very late in life. As everybody knows, I'll be married 2 years, October 26th of this year.
Woo-hoo.
Woohoo. So I got married very late in life. I'm very independent. I will admit I'm set in my ways, but I'm also learning to allow my
Mm.
husband into everything. And it's different. And I know that after taking care of so many people my entire life, I'm like, I don't want to take care of anybody. I don't want to take care of anybody. And then God says, wait, my dear, there's more.
Right?
Because, you know,
But there's
my
more.
husband's a diabetic, so sometimes he is sick. And I'm like, really, God? Seriously?
But
You
it's
my
a give and
soulmate
take. It's a give
is
and take at this point, right? So
yes.
you're not done. You're not done, but he gave you somebody that you can lean on. Uh, you can lean on. I'm hoping that I'm right on this, but I believe I am.
Yeah.
That you can lean on and trust that you're safe. You can lean
Yes.
on with your heart and your thoughts and your feelings, and know that you're safe and know that you're supported. So
Yes.
you now have somebody that you can spiritually share with and lighten a load with.
Yes.
And what you do naturally is just naturally care. So he just got some health issues, and you just go into your standard mode of, I got this, but you're not doing it alone for the first time. Now you have somebody who's sitting there saying
Yeah.
how much they appreciate you, how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, how resilient you are, and how grateful he is to have you in his life. So don't ever
Yeah.
forget all of those little things. A divine order.
Yes, and it's funny because yes, he is there when I need him. Like he's been really good. Like when things crop up, because you mentioned your mom has dementia. Well, my grandmother has dementia, and that just started. So he's like, we've been through in the last 6 months. It's been like it just saw me. I'm like, I'm in for the next level advancement. I don't know what that. Well, I do know what it is. I know what it is. So that's why I'm going through all this right now. I know what my advancement is. I've spoken out. I know that the next advancement is I will be the next Oprah Winfrey, and I will have my own talk show. And I know the caliber of people that I'm bringing in. So this is what I'm going through right now.
And it's beautiful in its messiness.
Yes.
Right? That's the magic. That's the magic. It's like it is messy as all hell. It is so messy. But there's joy in there because you like if you can realize, if you can allow yourself to appreciate your own self, right? To appreciate what you've done, to appreciate the people that you've let into your life. You just said it. The people that you're letting into your life right now, the caliber of the people.
Yep.
It's important to know because there comes a level of oftentimes when we're overcomers, right? When we're always coming into challenges and we're the one that everybody says, "Oh, help me out." Well, then you become that whole. It's kind of an enabling thing. It's a codependency thing. That's not the situation. You have to be aware not to slip into that. It's more like, I when I am faced with something I have to do, I don't crumble. I sometimes need support, but I can get through this. And it's that kind of a support that you do. And knowing that, knowing when it is yours to take on or yours to share the load of versus everybody coming to you and just say, "Oh my gosh, I want you to handle this." That's important. If you don't do that, you lose. You don't protect your energy. You don't protect your spirit, and you don't get to fulfill. You don't get to fulfill the amazingness that you're designed for. Like you said, you put it out there. You've said it. This is your purpose. This is your destiny, and you're amazingly made. I mean, let's think about how we even came to be in existence, right? How this whole thing we start off as this little thing. And that we come out and all of a sudden we're breathing and we're thinking and we're doing. And so we're so amazingly made. You are not made to be anything less than that.
Yeah.
So you get to design whatever that is. And when you can shout it out and celebrate it and revel in it, that's what you were put here to live out. I mean, some people hold back. I know that that's another thing I hear often is that you don't want to toot your own horn or celebrate your own self because it's I don't know, bragging. But you were not made to hide under that bushel. You are, a light is made to be shined. It's meant to be the beacon for people. It's meant to light up the shadow places for others, including yourself. So to hide it, it's not what you're here. It's that there's a difference between bragging, saying, "Look at me, too bad you're not me," versus "Look at me. I made it through the rain. I made it through this stuff. I know amazing people. You need to know these people as well, right?" That's how you shine the light. It's shining the light on what you have lived through and the kinds of people that you met along the way, so that you can inspire somebody else to also find the happiness in it and the ability to shout from a rooftop, "Holy crap, I made it." Even if another storm's coming.
Exactly. And when you're going through the shitstorm, I find that gratitude, it helps you push you through that too. Even though people's like, how can you be grateful for that? How can you be grateful that you lost your grandfather at such a young age? How can you be grateful that this? How could you be grateful of that? And the thing of it is, the gratefulness is that he's not in pain anymore. The gratefulness is that the legacy that he left behind in us, in his grandchildren, is amazing. And as long as I want to, in my book, I had left a legacy. To me, legacy is very important. The last chapter was all about my family legacy. And if each generation actually celebrated the generation before and the generation before and the generation before, so that your legacy lives on forever, that would be amazing, and it's just, and this is all popping into my head now because my mom had a phone call with my dad's last remaining aunt, and there were some pictures back from the 1700s is what they think it's dated as, and in the 1700s the clothing, it looked to be very rich. And I'm like, well, imagine that. Grams were rich back in the 1700s because, I mean, it something must have shifted. And I said, well, now I'm bringing that legacy back to where it was in the 1700s, because I will not stop until the legacy is returned back to where it should be, so that the future generations can carry that on. I may not have my own child, but I have a stepson, and he can carry the torch. And it's funny because a friend of mine doesn't have a child either. And I said, this was the year that I actually accepted that I would not bear my own children. And that was hard to take. But I said, how do you do that? She goes, because are you going to give all your love to 3 kids? Or are you going to give your love to all the kids that, that you're helping along the way? So I'm like, okay, so that put it in perspective. So I haven't been sad since that had come. But could you imagine?
Isn't that the gratitude that we look for, though? I mean, I know that it's again, I don't mean to oversimplify something and say it's like to make the lemonade out of lemons, right? That's not, that seems so simplified, right? But it's all in your mindful way of thinking. And I was talking about this morning because mindset feels like you're set. But I like being mindful. It's just full of possibilities, full of ideas, full of possibilities, opportunities, and ways to rethink things. So, like you said, I'm not going to have children of my own. I won't bear my own children. All right. So, what gratitude can I have in that? And then when you can shift it and say, I am able to spread that amongst other people, I don't have the one that I have to be here with. I could be there with everybody. It takes you from a place of being a victim to the place of being the one in power. I have decided this is how I will go forward with what I've been given, right? Yeah. And that's all. No, I don't empower anybody, by the way. So it's an empowerment coach, right? I don't empower anyone. No one empowers you, really. You are the one who empowers yourself, and right. It begins with your thought process. It really does. And that's, you will be able to find joy in the mess when you have decided that there is joy in this mess. And I'll be doggone tired as all hell till I find it. But there is joy in here, and I will find this damn thing.
Yep. Exactly. Our friend Jenny here says that she's always been strong, but all of a sudden she seems to be hiding a little. But people around seem to not know what to say. And I can identify with that because I will admit, I don't know if anybody read my blog, and it was very, 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 oh my God, I put myself out there like on a chopping block in that blog, where I went all out for 6 weeks trying to promote my course. I'd been talking to 40 people a day on top of my day job. I was like killing it, and no one signed up for it. But I believe timing is everything. And, I had a lot of interest. The timing was not right. Everybody that I, described the course to, they thought, oh man, God, that was wonderful. Well, I belong to a Saturday morning mastermind where these women are powerful. They don't play around. They do not play around. They don't play small. They play big. And I was like, how am I going to face these women? Let alone the 300 to 400 people that I just talked to in the last 6 weeks. when they ask about, hey, how did the course go? I hid for 2 days. I will admit, I went off the grid. I didn't do any social media for 2 days. I had my little my pity party, and that was it. And then I thought, okay, I ended up going to the Saturday morning mastermind group, and everybody's, okay, what did you learn from it? And as soon as that mastermind group was done, I had another meeting with one of the ladies there. And in that meeting, everything exploded for me in a good way. And I can't tell you what exploded from that, but when I can tell people, there was a partnership formed, and there is more to come. And it is so exciting, and it's even 10 times better than what I had. And it will reach more than the 250 people that I originally had planned to reach. So that is powerful, you know. And yes, I felt like, oh my God, I should hide under a brick. But, you know,
yeah, don't we all?
Life happens.
Yeah.
You learn from it.
And when you decide to learn from it, you shifted again. You know, you shifted from I need to hide is just the ego's way of protecting you so that you don't be hurt anymore. Your ego is a really good thing. It's also, if left unchecked, it gets out of control. So your ego is that piece that says, oh, this is such an awful feeling. We don't want to feel this anymore. So what will happen also is that some other event will come up and you'll have the same internal feelings, the same reactions, maybe the same butterfly in your stomach or the same, and your ego will come forward and say, oh, Dorothy, be careful. This is the same thing. Back off. But we have to remember, it's like, it's okay to just say, all right, you know what? You think you know. Why don't we just sit down and let this play out? Because you are going to feel the same feelings again, but it isn't the same situation. And you'll bust through that. And you can laugh at those times when those things come up, because it's natural to hide. And it's okay to hide a little bit after you've had like a disappointment, because it's just kind of like, I just need to sit with this. What we don't want to do is sit with it for too long by ourselves, right? You had a couple of days, and then you said, you know what, I have to break through that, your ego voice saying, oh my gosh, Dorothy, how embarrassing. What were you thinking? Don't do that anymore. Now you just go sit in your room and be quiet. Now you go because I told you not to do this.
Yeah.
And what you said was, okay, enough out of you. I've got people I have to meet. And so you retaught yourself something in that very moment.
Yeah.
Powerful.
It is totally powerful. And Jenny says taking 2 months off has been hard, but people won't forget about you. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. We will not forget you, Jenny. Mm-mm. We are here for you.
Yeah, and you got to do what you have to do for your mental health, your physical health. And then in the meantime, you know, find out the resources that are out there. As you did, Dorothy, right? You have a mastermind of people that don't play small. What a great resource to have at your fingertips. It's people who they don't belittle you. They didn't humiliate you. They didn't bully you. They didn't shame you. That was your past experiences of life. These people were like, okay, good on you. Good on you. Now, what'd you learn? What can we do next time? How can we step it up? Yeah, and it speaks volumes to the original thing we said. Who's your community? Who's your family? Yes. Who are your people that you're willing to be vulnerable with? And you know what? Sometimes we make a mistake and we're vulnerable with the wrong people, and that hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it stinks. But hopefully we build a safety net enough around us of really good quality people, so that even if we are open and vulnerable with the wrong people and it doesn't go well, we can go to the people that we do know are there for us and say, okay, bad choice. This is what happened. I'm going to pick up my stuff and I'm going to keep on going. And they help you pick up your stuff, throw it in your bag.
Exactly. And I love what you said. Surround yourself with people that will lift you up. Mm-hmm. You know, and that is so true. It's funny because God knew what he was doing when he, it seems like the second I met Jen Sahari, my life completely changed, and for the better. Jen introduced me to these women who have been, and I will admit, I'm not the type of person to ask for help. And that's what I learned out of all this mess that I had created in those 6 weeks. I never in my life had asked for help, because I was asking people, hey, can you put the word out for this? Can you put the word out for this? And I had people I didn't even really know that said, oh yeah, I'll advertise that for you. And that felt incredible, and to have people on your side bringing me up to that next level. And now that, now what I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, then this all happens in my personal life, what we're going through now. But he's also given me a group of people like our LinkedIn family and our Facebook family and the community with Tim, the streamies and things like that, to help be there and, support you in any way, shape, or form. And that's what it's all about, is being a community of people, helping each other out. And, that's why we all help each other out on different shows and things like that. Jenny says, exactly. We do have a great tribe. Her Canna family tribe is failing because the industry is somewhat, so they are hiding. Nothing to hide. I don't understand how the Canna family is cannabis in Canada has skyrocketed, completely skyrocketed. Like, you find there's 5 stores in around every block here in Canada and where I live. So that's just weird to me. But it's legal here.
My internet is getting all chopped up, but we can keep bear with me. Just so patience.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jenny, to that I would say, your Canada fam is hiding. They're going through a transition, perhaps, but if they're hiding and you need people who are not hiding, you need to make sure that you're remembering who your other resources are, right? Because if you're in a place where it's not because of the industry that you were in, with the cannabis is your issue, you have other things that you're trying to accomplish, right? Then you need to be with those people who are still moving and shaking and not hiding, right? Building a community where you can build it is important. So, Jenny, keep doing what you're doing. Keep reaching out. Keep connecting with people. It's the way to switch it around for yourself.
Yeah. Totally.
How choppy was that?
That it's a little bit choppy, I will admit. Yeah. By the way, Nancy's in Florida, so I wouldn't feel too bad. She's got the nice weather.
True.
Yes, to transition. People are still scared on COVID here. I think, Jenny, people are scared to some degree in any area. I think the media has a lot to do with that. I'm not going to get into it because it's a sore subject for me, and I could go on for 4 hours and still not be done. But anyways, it's one of those subjects that I don't know. I know we'll never get back to what the old normal was, but really, the old normal, I don't want the old normal. I like having family time, and I like the good parts of COVID. I don't like people dying, and I don't like people separating versus vaxxed versus non-vaxxed. I will admit that. And there's a lot of that. And there's some days that I just have to shut that out because I can't handle it. I will admit. I don't know, but
I'm going to come right back in. Bear with me for just a moment.
Yep.
How is that? Can you at least hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. We may have my thumping face for a little bit because
not a problem.
As you know, I'm in this temporary space, and sometimes the internet is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure I stayed with you as long as I could. Yeah,
But the
this has been
upside,
a great conversation. It's been a really great conversation, and I don't want to detract from what you're doing with from the internet from the internet access, uh, but having tools to get you through the tough times. One of them you touched on that I use all the time is gratitude.
Mhm.
The other one that I highly recommend, uh, and that served me well, is to journal.
Mhm.
I've talked about this. I've done workshops on this. One of the things it's a 5 minute journal because sometimes people look at journaling and think, "Oh my gosh, eye roll happens. This is going to be way too much." But when you can do a 5 minute journal, that it's like it, and what it really entails is when you go to bed at night, what are three things that you did well, um, and what one thing might you have done a little bit better, and then in the morning, it's what three things are you grateful for? I mean, it's very, very simple, and it's 5 minutes, but it sets your day up when you start, and it wraps up your day so that those things that you're thinking about when you wrote them down are what you think about as you're sleeping, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. Jenny said here, Fred is coming up to Florida. The old normal was huge events here, thousands of people, a couple times a week, and definitely showing gratitude. And that's it. You know, if you show gratitude in everything that you do and everything that comes at you, that to me that's how you handle it, in my opinion. No matter how crappy it is.
150% agree. And I had one more. I'm going to type it into the comments because I'm so sorry. It's not my fault, but I really didn't want to. I turned into a pulsating head, but I had to. So one, I'm going to put it in here. One is gratitude. Two is journal, and then three is community. And I think that you'll find uh, that was the every single time when I needed to find the joy in the mass, I realized that what I was doing was that those three things over and over again. That I was always looking for the gratitude in the moment. Sometimes, sometimes the gratitude is just that I can see,
Yes.
you know, I mean, just being able to say, I can see the sunrise, it's just it takes that moment of being grateful for something to switch your brain into a mode of being grateful, and gratitude will find joy finds gratitude, and journaling, and then having that community. But those are my three.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And it's funny because my first thing I do when I wake up is my gratitude. I grab my journal after meditating, and I live in community. So I love what you said. I love all three of those things. That is awesome. And the iguanas.
It's a Florida thing.
Yes. I remember and then the little geckos or lizards or whatever you want to call them, especially by the pool.
Yes,
Oh, you're
definitely,
back.
definitely.
There,
I
that's
know
better.
it comes and goes, so I could sense it was getting better, so I went with it. But
Perfect. That's awesome. So,
there you go.
this has been awesome.
It
Totally
has been.
awesome.
I've loved it.
And okay, so you're an empowerment coach. How can people get a hold of you to be an empowerment coach? And we've heard tonight a little bit how Nancy goes through that. But if you want to shed some more light on your coaching and how they can get a hold of you, that would be amazing.
Well, easy peasy. I am not a major corporation, so you can reach me
Yet.
yet. I have yet to decide whether I want to be a major corporation, what it is, how big I want to be. But I love what I do right now. I love doing event concierging. By the way, that's my favorite fun job, but my passion is the empowerment part. So first of all, you can just reach out to me through Messenger and just let me know just that you were watching this and that you were intrigued. Also, you could join the free group, which is Lighten Up with Miss Nancy. You could do that, and let's have a conversation. Let's chat. Let's see. Let's see where you're at and what it is that you're looking to do in your life, and what we'll see. Maybe we can figure out what's been blocking you. And if I'm not the answer, then I will point you in the direction of people who might be your answer. The groups and communities and tools that you can use for your own self. There's joy in the messes, friends.
I love that. Joy in the messes.
There is.
That is awesome. Jenny says it's been a great show, ladies. Woohoo! Thanks for joining us, Jenny. You are amazing. Jenny. Glad you felt well enough to join us.
She missed this morning, is what she's saying there.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was about.
She slept in. She's allowed to.
Oh, what is sleeping in?
I know.
I don't remember that.
And I have to remember that I think she's a 2-hour difference. So I say 7:30 a.m. It's 5:30. So like,
yeah. But I was up at 3:00 this morning.
My gosh. You know why? It was for this. You couldn't sleep because of this.
That's right. You're right.
I knew it.
I'm normally up at 4, but it's just like I woke up at 3 and I'm like, I couldn't go back to sleep because my mind was racing. And I'm like, well, instead of just laying here, I'm just going to get up. And I went and did a workout this morning. Yay. First thing. I was just like, okay, I'm up. I'm going to do it. Because if I don't do it, then I'm just going to regret it later. Because I'm on a roll. Nutrition started today. I've been on a roll for the last, I don't know, years with the physical stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, and keep the momentum.
That's right. Momentum. She says it was 5:30 Mountain Time.
Yeah, so that's what I say. 5:30, 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
So. I also have, if anybody wants, I have a little PDF I can send. It's just like Lighten Up tips. It's 5 Lighten Up tips. So if somebody wants that, they can just. I guess they can reach out to me, or they can put Lighten Up in the comments, and I will reach out and get it to you, because I don't have it formulated any other way right now.
Well, it's funny because my brother has always told me, Dorothy Ann, you need to lighten up. So I will admit, I used to take things a lot seriously, but growing up with all the pressures that I had that kind of contributed to it, I grew up very fast, very quick. And I felt like I always had to be serious because I was dealing with serious stuff. It wasn't until I hit my 40s that I thought, okay, I need to really lighten up. And then my husband thinks everything is freaking hilarious, and my husband thinks everything is when he's in the role. When he's not, he's serious maybe 10% of the time and not serious 90% of the time. So when he's in his not serious mode, like, he can make me laugh so hard. Seriously, I could be mad at him so bad, and then he'll just go, you love your Joey. And then I'm like laughing hysterically. So that's why we offset each other and balance each other out. So I would love the guide to lighten up, Miss Nancy. There's always room for improvement.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't go on every day. I do a walking video most days, although I'm not hiding. It's just I feel that if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to force it. So if God's given me a download for somebody, then I'll go and do a live. But if I don't, then you have to wait for my show.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait. Well, I will wait though. I am looking forward to um, having my place to live and having my own internet and having my own setup and my own space. This was a great joy to be here with you and to be with your audience. And thank you so much for putting up with
Thank
the
you.
choppy. Ready?
I just want to say thanks
For
to our
putting up with the
guests.
choppy internet.
I just want to say thanks to our guests and thank you, Nancy, for joining us tonight. And is there any last minute ideas, tricks, anything that you would like to leave our audience with?
I don't have any more. I have no more. Just always remember that there is always joy, and you are the one who determines where it is and when you bring it out. That's it.
Cool. That kind of was locked there. Oh, poor Nancy. Can't. We'll have to have her back on when she gets her own place. when she gets settled into her own place. I just want to. I just want to thank you so much, Nancy, for coming on and being a light to us here and bringing joy, especially wherever you go. I truly appreciate you. And folks, tomorrow is a special episode. I had opened up my show. I didn't realize that June was Cancer Awareness Month, and as you know, I have a heart for cancer patients, and I connect with cancer patients and their families in a huge way. Since our family's going through that, and I've sat in the waiting rooms and waited for my dad's treatments, and just talked and shared our hearts with people in the waiting room. So I decided to open my show up, other than Monday nights, to showcase cancer survivors and give them an opportunity and a platform that, if they so desire, to share their story. And I really wish that I would have had my dad do that, but my dad's not one to be in front of the camera. But that's okay. I know where his heart is. And so tomorrow I have the distinct pleasure of having Miss Donna Eller. Donna was a top fashion model back in the day, and she also formed the union to help models. And then, like, this woman's amazing. She's also was one of the, I believe, top leaders in JJ Keller, and she's also a Landmark Forum coach, which is absolutely amazing. And she was diagnosed with cancer a year ago, and she's going to share her cancer story with us tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. It's tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same channel. And I'm really excited because I just know that I talked with Donna, and I had to admit that I had a girl crush. First time in my life ever. And like, she is just wow. Like, this woman is powerful. I mean, Nancy is absolutely amazing too. I'm not giving any discredit to Nancy. But this woman, I just can't believe, like, she doesn't stop even after having cancer. She just keeps going. So with that, it's definitely going to be another amazing show, just like tonight. And can't wait to have you all on with us tomorrow. And I hope you all have an amazing evening. And God bless you all.
God bless you all is right. Bye.
Bye.